Hello, Kristen here. Today I made a short video for you about sketching flowers. So I found this fireweed that was still blooming in my yard, and again working in watercolor and pen, we'll go over how to sketch out and draw out a more complicated form than the leaves we were drawing before, how to pay attention to what's closer and what's farther away, and then a little bit also on mixing colors and getting accurate local color. In part one, we went over sketching out the flower and leaf in pencil and then in pen. And now in part two, we will work on watercolor. So I'm going to start by mixing up some colors to work with. Okay, I like that as a really basic light pink as a place to start. I'm going to start with that color. This pink is warmer probably than the pink of the fireweed leaves, but it helps to start with something warmer, I think. This one, I'm going to try and get a little bit more detail in and not fill in completely. They tend to be darker at the base, kind of where they start. And then the sepals are quite a bit darker, well, for the most part. So I'm just going to do those a little bit more saturated. And then we've got our green. Might lighten that up. Oops. I want to make sure I get all the pink off my brush before I go into the green. Just wipe it on the towel. Alright. I'm going to warm up the green a little bit. And kind of sketch that in too. I'm trying not to paint over top of the pink, because that's where it would get more muddy and brown, but rather to kind of like go alongside it. A lot of these wilted flowers are kind of a little bit purpley. That also makes them go back a little bit. Add in some shadows. Let's work on the green a little bit more. Should come forward. At this point, I keep adding layers, getting a little bit darker in places to add depth and dimension. Remember that warmer colors that are more yellowy or red will come forward, whereas cooler colors that are more blue or purple will go farther away. Lighter things also recede into the distance. So I want to have the most contrast and potentially complementary colors next to each other, but also warmer colors to bring things forward. So to achieve an interesting sketch, I'm mixing up a variety of different greens and pinks and purples, ranging from warm to cool. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is add some shadows. So for my shadow color, I mixed my gray with a little bit of blue, and I'm just adding that in a couple places. I had one teacher who said you want to add a couple little divots of darkness into your sketch or drawing, just to really make it pop in places. Adding some dimension to the leaf so it's not as flat. And that's good enough for me for right now. I don't need to overwork it. It has, I feel like, for a sketch for me, a bit of energy in it. I'm just gonna write the date and a note. Late summer fireweed.